Imagine this, a leader whose words promise peace but whose hands quietly orchestrate conflict. Ruler who projects moral virtue while wielding power through deception and fear. It sounds like a political drama ripped from today's headlines. But this kind of leadership has deep historical roots. The idea that manipulation isn't just a moral failing, but a strategic necessity lies at the heart of one of the most influential political works ever written. The Prince by Niccolò Machiavelli. This video explores the enduring relevance of manipulation in politics through the sharp, sometimes unsettling lens of Machiavelli's political philosophy. Whether admired as a realist or condemned as a cynic, Machiavelli left a legacy that continues to shape how leaders gain, wield, and maintain power. His ideas don't just linger in history books. They echo in campaign speeches, international diplomacy, and the shadowy maneuvers behind closed doors. Welcome to the unfolding journey, where we explore the ideas, events, and philosophies that have shaped and continue to shape our world. If you're someone who's curious about the patterns that govern human behavior, the cycles of history, and the deeper meanings behind political power, you're in the right place. In this episode, we dive into how manipulation operates not only as a tactic, but as a core element of political survival, as seen through the Machiavellian lens. Niccolò Machiavelli was a diplomat, philosopher, and writer in Renaissance Italy, a time marked by political instability, invasions, and brutal power struggles among city-states. Born in Florence in 1469, Machiavelli spent much of his career observing the treacherous landscape of Italian politics up close. After being dismissed from political office, he wrote The Prince in 1513 as a practical guide for rulers, one that offered unfiltered advice on how to gain and keep power in an unforgiving world. Unlike earlier thinkers who emphasized moral virtue or divine right, Machiavelli stripped politics down to its raw mechanics. To him, power wasn't about doing good, it was about being effective. A good leader, in his eyes, was one who could navigate chaos, control perception, and above all, win. It's this unsentimental realism that made The Prince both groundbreaking and controversial. The book has been banned, praised, misinterpreted, and fiercely debated for over 500 years. But what keeps it relevant is Machiavelli's recognition that manipulation isn't an anomaly in politics, it's a feature. For Machiavelli, manipulation wasn't just an occasional tool. It was part of the political toolkit every successful leader had to master. He argued that rulers must learn not to be good, and be ready to deceive when necessary. The leader's primary responsibility was not to uphold morality, but to ensure stability and strength. In Machiavelli's world, appearances mattered more than reality. A prince didn't need to be virtuous. He only needed to appear virtuous. This distinction between substance and image is central to his political philosophy. For instance, if a ruler had to make a ruthless decision to protect the state, it was better to do so discreetly and maintain a public image of compassion and justice. This is manipulation in its purest form. Not outright lies or malicious deceit, but the calculated crafting of perception to maintain control. A leader might feign loyalty, promise reforms, or offer hope, all while maneuvering behind the scenes to consolidate power. We see echoes of this in modern politics, from carefully staged media appearances to selective transparency and strategic misinformation. Leaders often play dual roles, presenting one face to the public while operating with a different set of motives in private. Whether through PR spin or strategic ambiguity, manipulation remains a staple of political survival. Perhaps the most famous and most controversial claim in The Prince is Machiavelli's argument that it is better for a ruler to be feared than loved, if one cannot be both. Love, he suggests, is fleeting and unreliable, based on the goodwill of subjects. Fear, on the other hand, is a more consistent motivator, so long as it does not cross into hatred. This notion touches on a core Machiavellian principle: control. Love cannot be controlled, but fear can. A leader who depends solely on the affection of the people is vulnerable to shifting moods and loyalties. But a leader who instills fear, within reason, commands more predictable obedience. This doesn't mean Machiavelli advocated cruelty for its own sake. Instead, he saw controlled cruelty as a legitimate tool. Violence, if used strategically and sparingly, could secure order and deter rebellion. The key was to strike swiftly and decisively, then return to normalcy, giving the appearance of mercy. In today's political landscape, this philosophy might be reflected in leaders who use tough rhetoric, law and order crackdowns, or military posturing to assert dominance. The calculated use of fear can shape public opinion, suppress dissent, and project strength, even if it comes at the cost of democratic norms or civil liberties. It's tempting to think that Machiavellian tactics only apply to autocrats or dictators. But manipulation exists in democracies too, albeit in more refined and institutionalized forms. Political campaigns, for example, are carefully crafted performances. Candidates undergo media training, rehearse debate answers, and strategically shift their messaging based on polling data. Slogans are tested, stories are shaped, and every photo op is choreographed. What we see is rarely the full picture. It's the version campaign teams want us to see. Even policymaking involves manipulation. Politicians might frame legislation in emotionally charged ways, conceal unpopular measures within larger bills, or leak information selectively to sway public debate. These aren't signs of moral collapse. They're part of the messy, competitive process of governance in a pluralistic society. Machiavelli would likely see these tactics not as corruption, but as realism. In a world where interests collide, manipulation becomes a way to manage complexity, build alliances, and win public support. Machiavelli's unapologetic embrace of manipulation has sparked centuries of moral debate. Critics accuse him of promoting tyranny, deceit, and cruelty. His name has even become synonymous with political cunning. The term Machiavellian conjures images of backstabbing and ruthless ambition. But others argue that Machiavelli was simply describing the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. In this view, he wasn't immoral, he was amoral, treating politics as a realm separate from personal ethics. Just as a surgeon must sometimes cut to heal, a ruler must sometimes manipulate to govern. Modern thinkers have re-evaluated Machiavelli as a realist who valued stability, order, and effective governance, even if it meant sacrificing idealism. Some even see him as a proto-democrat who hoped that understanding power would help people hold leaders accountable. Ultimately, Machiavelli forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. Can we really expect our leaders to be both honest and effective? Do high ideals survive in high-stakes politics? Or does power always come with a price? More than 500 years after The Prince was written, Machiavelli's ideas remain disturbingly relevant. In an age of spin doctors, media manipulation, and political polarization, the gap between appearance and reality has only grown wider. Machiavelli anticipated this divide and offered insights into how leaders navigate it. His work reminds us that politics is not just about ideals, it's about strategy. It's about understanding human nature, managing perception, and using every available tool, including manipulation, to achieve stability and authority. We don't have to agree with Machiavelli to learn from him. His enduring lesson is that power is a game with rules few are willing to admit, and those who understand the game are often the ones who shape history. Thanks for watching today's episode on The Unfolding Journey. If you found this exploration of Machiavelli thought-provoking, we invite you to stick with us as we dive deeper into the philosophies and power dynamics that continue to mold our world. Our journey is about peeling back the layers of history, challenging assumptions, and seeing beyond the surface. If that resonates with you, there's so much more ahead. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? Was Machiavelli right about the nature of politics? Or does his vision lead us down a dangerous path? Let us know. We're excited to hear your perspective. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep unfolding the journey.